You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Welcome back, Rebelz! It is time for another 2-hour debacle! Woo! Holy cow! It is about that time. It is time for the Super Bowl Spectacular! Yeah, we don't mince words, we just say it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna break it down from top to bottom, inside, out, left, right, from center, everywhere. The whole nine. The NBA, you know, they're making some headlines, so maybe we'll talk about that too. But, oh man, so much to get into. They try to stop us, they try to hold us down, but they can't. So without further ado, let's do the do that we do here at DSR2. I am your host, and here's the ultimate of sports. Whoa, the ultimate sports radio rebel, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're here, another edition of DSR2 for our Super Bowl extravaganza. That's right, we're going to get to pretty much the whole show will be dedicated to the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday on there. Unfortunately, we're not good enough to get invited live to New Orleans, so we're here in blustery, cold Michigan, where we're actually, if you're down southern Monroe or Lenawee County, yeah, you're getting rain. It's freezing rain tonight, so be careful out there tomorrow morning, guys, out there. So we got the Super Bowl on there. We'll get into basically the prop bets, our breakdowns of what we think of possible matchups on there, what great foods to eat out there as well on that. So yeah, we got it's all, and again, we'll get into basically the odds too of the award winners, because that'll be tomorrow night, I believe, on there for the NFL with the award show, and yeah, everything's looking good.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's gonna be.
And if you're going to the game, you better get there like 17 hours early, because you're gonna have to go through a security check.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Bullshit.
Well, no, these days it's not. Like nowadays, you have to be ultra super careful. Watch out for cyber trucks. I mean, like it's just gonna be one of those.
Well, a certain individual is gonna be at the game, and it's gonna just cause a clusterfuck.
Well,
to get into it.
Yeah, I think if see, before I get into all this, I do want to make a programming note. We have had some issues. Meta does not really like us right now, and they've kind of censored us here. So we are now on my personal page. We have a page set up for DSR2. We've been sending the invites out. Once we get that up to speed, hopefully next week, you'll be able to catch us live, the video feed there. There'll be a new YouTube channel coming that'll associate just Detroit Sports Radio Rebels. When we get that up to speed, we'll be live there only. We will leave Meta completely. It's Spotify is up and running. Just search Detroit Sports Radio Rebels, and you can catch every single episode there without fail. There's a comment section. There's the whole 9 yards. We can get into this thing. But to catch it live in the moment, right now, Meta's the place. Soon it'll be YouTube. And, Spotify, it's not live in the moment, but it's like an immediate upload. So the minute the show is over, you'll be able to catch it in its entirety. So that'll work out for a lot of you guys who tend to listen and watch after the fact or at your leisure. You'll be able to download. It'll be so much more convenient for a lot of you that do that. But we will continue to work on having a live video feed of the show for you in one form or another. We've been doing this for damn near 20 years, and we've almost always had a live video feed for you in some form or another. And so for now, you can find it here on my page. There's a ton of you guys that hang out over here anyway and follow me anyway. So we'll do it like that for now. And then when the DSR2 page is up and good, we can go live there. We'll do that. Same with YouTube. We want to kind of separate the show from the station because the station is a very free speech network, and we want to try to avoid any casualties from that coming over here, where we try to get everybody away from all the chaos and talk about other fun stuff, and we want to be able to have that. So we're creating a little separation there on purpose, just to kind of combat the algorithm and all the different things that are kind of going on with social media and the dissemination of information. Because there is definitely a First Amendment issue going on, and it's, everybody's going to have to kind of deal with that in one way, shape, or form or another, and that's our version. And if it takes us to a ship in the middle of the fucking Detroit River on the Canada side with an FM booster, I've already got the gear. So free speech and DSR2 will be around until we die. Okay, just so you guys are aware.
We'll be just talking like a boot.
Yeah, we might have a little bit of an accent and eating different
And
foods.
we'll be talking more hockey, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll get into our CFL fantasy picks.
Yes. It'll be a slightly different show, but no, I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do, and we adapt. We've been doing that for a long time. We appreciate everybody that adapts with us and comes and hangs out with us. So, but yeah, the Super Bowl is a huge spectacle. At our current climate and situation, any large gathering is going to be a huge security risk, Moose. So getting in and out of the building is going to be insane because it's going to be hard just getting into the NFL experience area even.
Oh, God, yeah.
Let alone getting to one of the buildings, right? Like the main build. It's just not. So, yeah, you guys got to have to be prepared for that. This will be among the 9/11 type security level stuff that you saw, like around that time, right? When we first started going back to having events after 9/11, I assume that the security will be very similar. Yeah. You're not going to be able to have dick on you. Basically nothing. A clear bag the size of your tennis shoe with nothing in it but your fucking ID and credit card.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you bring anything in there. They're not going to let you have lighters in there. They're not going to let you have your vapes in there because they're going to think there's something in them fucking things. They're not going to let you have shit in there. Watch.
Right.
But just be prepared, y'all. Read the back of your ticket stubs. Read all the fine print on all your emails and correspondence you have if you're going down there. Make sure that you aren't disappointed and you can have the full NFL experience because we've had the Super Bowl here in Detroit, and it's amazing. So you don't want anybody to miss out on that. And Moose, all the talk is obviously, in the NFL is obviously the Super Bowl and, quarterbacks and dynasties and all this and that and the third. And we're going to get into that. There's tons of prop bets.
Oh yeah,
we love the prop bets.
I got the prop bet page already put up there.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna we'll get our Super Bowl pick in. We're gonna do all the fun stuff that we normally do. We'll throw down Studio57Radio at Gmail. Any dope ass recipes you got for tailgating for Super Bowl? We're always down. What's your go-to? That's always a conversation here. So we're gonna keep some of the tradition alive here on the Super Bowl Spectacular, but before we get into all that, Moose, we would be remiss to not kind of dive into the NBA.
Yes.
I mean, you would think. I mean, what's the trade deadline tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. And there's been trades. I mean, again, going off. I mean, even our own Pistons made a trade today too. And they're not much, but it was basically to get draft picks. We didn't give up squat.
Right.
But they had to free up salary on there, so we got on there. So, yeah, we got into that on there as well. Let's see here.
Well, the Jimmy Butler saga has been something special.
Yeah. I mean,
let's be real. And so between that and then waking up, for me anyway, waking up to the Luka Anthony Davis trade.
I saw that Sunday morning and I went, "What the hell happened here?"
I'm like, that's what I said. I went out. We were out at the jazz club and having a good night on Saturday night and enjoying and chilling and slept in on Sunday after a long work week. And I woke up to what? What happened? What? When I disconnect from the sporting world for 6 hours or whatever, and this is what happens. So, I don't know where you want to start because. I mean, that's really this.
I say we go right into the trades there because, I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. Which trade? What thing you want to get into?
I think we go chronologically. We start with basically what happened. I mean, you had a trade on Saturday that drew. I mean, it was on there. The only thing was PJ Tucker and Mo Bamba went to the Jazz from the Clippers. Clippers got Patty Mills and Eubanks on there. But I mean, the big one. What happened was Sunday morning. The Dallas Mavericks, they end up with, they traded Luka Doncic, and they got Anthony Davis, Matt Christie, and a 2029 first-round draft pick. That's even if the plan's still around in 2029.
Yeah, right.
Lakers get Luka, Max Keebler, and Markieff Morris. Utah got Jalen Hood, Shavino, second round from the Clippers this year, and a second round from Dallas. They didn't really give up anything, but they got a couple draft picks. Okay, that's fine there. But the Luka, I mean,
I don't get it.
It makes no sense. It makes sense for the Lakers because they got younger, and now they got a guy that actually can facilitate the ball, so LeBron doesn't have to worry about doing everything.
Well, this is the thing.
They got younger.
Well, this is the biggest thing is they got younger, and they are set up to move on from LeBron.
Right.
So that is why it makes sense for them because honestly, beyond that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because to me, LeBron and Luka is a volume shooter in a lot of cases. Like he gets hot and he needs to shoot a lot and get on when he's on. He needs to control the ball. There's a lot of different things that him and LeBron do that are similar. And so I don't know that those two are the answer together to do anything. You got smaller in the middle.
You did get small, and you got weaker defensive wise.
Right, and then your defense that didn't really exist before is gone now.
Right.
And so you have no rim presence at all. So, like, I don't know. Not that Luka is – look, your top three players as far as over the last X amount of years, consistency, if you look at the last 8 to 10 years – It's Luka, Jokic, and LeBron.
Right.
And so why I get wanting Luka because now you've got like two of the three most productive, consistent, just triple-double, double-double machines in the league on one team. But I mean, let's be real. What version of Luka are you going to get? He lost $50 million in this trade.
Mm-hmm.
He went from a state with no income tax to the highest income tax in the country. He's now he went to be the man to now sit behind LeBron until he retires or goes somewhere else.
Right.
There's all these different dynamics to that trade that it's not a bad trade. I would never say it's a bad trade to get Luka for anybody. But it only makes sense in the fact that we are set up for when LeBron is gone in a couple of years. And in the meantime, we can sell tickets, win a few games, make SportsCenter top 10, and
get bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
Right. Exactly. And so and that's fine, I guess. But gosh damn, what did Dallas even get?
They got street clothes.
I mean, that's
because it's what he'll be doing, sitting on the bench in his street clothes. It makes no sense for them. I know these. You'll get all these apologists out there. Well, he played 76 games last year. Yeah, only time ever in his 10-year career.
Right.
And again, you treat a guy that's not even in his NBA prime yet. He's 24.
Right.
For a 32-year-old broken down center. Granted, he's going to be able to play the 4 now because he doesn't have to play the 5. So maybe that 100. But that makes no. I mean, this is the trade that's like going.
Well, they didn't want to pay the supermax. That's
Right.
it. That's the only reason. Those are the only 2 reasons the
This
trade
trade
happened.
never happens if Cuban doesn't sell his control of the team.
You're probably right because I think he'd pay him.
Oh, yeah, because he wouldn't give him up.
Right.
I'm not giving him up.
Yeah.
I'll pay him. I don't care. I'll pay the salary tax. I don't care.
Right.
Again, it's funny money.
Right.
It's not real.
Right.
And I think that. But once he got on there, when I'm like going, and again, you look at everybody in Dallas, they're like, what the hell happened? They were like in shock. They're like,
oh, yeah. Even Lucas said it like in the press conference for LA. He's like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, I thought I was going to retire there. Like, I don't know what's going on. So, I mean,
this ranks up there in the, got to be in the top 5 biggest trades of the NBA history.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the number one is obviously when the Bucks traded Kareem to the Lakers. So,
right.
on there. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge trade on there, and it's going to be, but I do believe short-term wise, we'll see what the Lakers will do on there. But yeah, again, does this basically do the Lakers know that LeBron's going to be out the door? Well, I know they're hoping out the door within a couple of years, or maybe it might be after this year. I don't think he only signed like a 1-year deal, wasn't it?
I can't remember now, Moose. Was it a 2-year deal, I think? I think it was a 2-year deal because he's got a no-trade clause, LeBron.
Right.
Because he even mentioned if he was worried about, having to take a back seat, he'd have just waived his no-trade clause and got out of there because, he's a bitch like that.
Yeah.
And
it was a 2-year.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
thought.
yeah, he's got, 2 years. So, yeah,
That's what I
he's
thought.
got no trade clause. So they know, I mean, this is just short-term, and they'll go from there.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, and that's kind of my take on it. It only makes sense if they go, okay, we got Luka in a couple of years. LeBron will be gone. We'll do whatever. And then Dallas is just didn't want to pay the supermax, and they'll just run it with AD, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
As their big 3, basically. But how do you trade a guy that was that good and got you to the finals, and he's like a top 5 player at least? I just don't know how you just. I don't know how you trade it for a guy that can't get 60 games in every year.
Nope.
It's just
Makes no sense. And then again,
strictly financial. There's no other reason.
That's it. It's all it's got to be on there. And then we got another trade that same day, later in the day, on there. San Antonio. It's another 3-team play. San Antonio, the Kings, and the Bulls. Bulls end up getting Zach. They got rid of Zach LaVine.
Okay.
And they got Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and San Antonio's first-round pick in this 2025.
Okay.
The Kings gave up, obviously, De'Aaron Fox, and that they get Zach LaVine, City Sissoko. They get a top first-round pick from Charlotte, top 14 protected, a 2027 first-round pick from San Antonio, a 2031 pick from Minnesota,
Jesus.
a 2025 second-round pick from Chicago, a 2028 second-round pick from Denver, 2028 second-round pick their own on there. So they get that on there. And then again, the Spurs got De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Again, I see why the Spurs do it because now they've got their guard. They've got their two guys.
Right.
Superstar. De'Aaron Fox, and you got Wembanyama.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that sets them up.
Well, and you've seen what Wemby's done this year. Holy cow.
Now he's got a guy. It's going to be Lob City.
Yeah, his transition. So I was watching the game the other night, and homeboy throws the ball off the backboard all the way damn near to the free throw line, and Wemby grabs it over a dude and dunks it.
I know.
It's like, gosh, damn, it's not even fair. And of course, De'Aaron Fox is like, yeah, I'll go play with Wemby. This guy's a freak. He's just a freak.
Yes.
He's a generational freak athlete. There's nothing you're going to be able to do with this guy.
He's what Darko was supposed to be.
Right. Exactly. He was what?
And of course.
Well, with a little bit more flavor.
Yes. And of course, a 7-footer that can do everything. Of course, Spurs are going to get him.
Yeah.
Because that's all they do is get 7-footers. They can do everything. And they do everything perfect.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Yeah.
The Admiral.
Yeah.
And now It's like,
I mean,
bullshit.
and the fact they had both of them at the same time was kind of bullshit. The way that whole went down, I'm like, what is this? How did they get him at the
Here
same
he
time?
gets hurt. Oh, we're gonna take it. Oh, we got the number 1 pick and we got Duncan.
Yeah.
And then Robinson comes back and then of course immediately win a championship.
Yeah. Oh.
Bastards.
Anyway.
So then we get the Bucks, or we got was it Caleb Martin from goes to Dallas from Philly. Philly gets Quentin Grimes on there, gives him more depth and forward again on there. And then we get the Bucks traded Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and they swapped their first round picks with Washington. So they got Washington got Middleton and Johnson. Bucks get Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin, and a second round. So
Interesting.
So essentially, you traded Middleton for. I think Middleton's still better than Kuzma.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know why they gave up on Middleton. Definitely, he felt to me like a playoff player, right? Like he would seem to.
Well, I heard too. There was rumors that Bobby Portis may get traded too, and if I'm the Pistons, I'm jumping all over that.
Well, if I'm the Pistons, you've got money to move around, and if you can get your hands, I'm surprised that they didn't try to work something where they landed something in the Butler trade, right? Like,
right. Well, again, it was on there because they traded cash considerations, so they got KJ Martin,
right,
son of Kenya Martin,
right,
on there. And they got a second round in 2027, a second round 2031. So all they did was give cash considerations to Philly because
Right.
Philly's cash strapped on there
right.
because they're way over the salary cap because they made bad signings.
Sure.
So that on there. But yeah, that on there. And then like Celtics might be pulling it because they traded Jaden Springer to the Rockets, and they get a second rounder in 2031. Pelicans also made a trade cash considerations. They gave up Daniel Theus to Oklahoma City. Now the Kings made another trade, or then the Wizards immediately give up Cisco, which they just got a second round in 2028, 2029 second round, and they get that, and then the Kings get Jonas I can't even pronounce this.
Yeah, I know some of these.
So that's it for now, and then we still got basically. Rumor is Bobby Portis might be getting traded from Milwaukee, and also is the Jimmy Butler.
And we got one more day, right? It's tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow.
So that is going to.
No, it's tomorrow. The February 6th trade deadline. It's tomorrow. Yep.
That's what I thought. That is, that's going to be on fire. So yeah, next week we'll definitely be back. We'll be reviewing the Super Bowl and really getting into the NBA, what the trades mean, what this stuff's going to look like going forward. And that's kind of why I think the NBA doesn't really kick until after the All-Star break. As much as people say it's Christmas, it feels like it's after the All-Star break because of the trade deadline, all the things that are going on. The only thing that goes on earlier than that is just kind of establishing whether you're buying or selling, for the year. And so, but yeah, the NBA finally making some headlines here. But if you guys have been watching the games, man, watch some of these Eastern Conference games, like with the Knicks and some of these. Well, and don't miss Wemby. I mean, I know that's San Antonio's a Western game, but don't miss Wemby. Like, that guy's a freak.
That's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, for sure. But these Eastern games have been really good. Like Boston and Cleveland and New York, all playing really well right now. And you're getting some really good matchups. And the games aren't like crazy blowouts like you've been seeing where it's like 144 to 121 or none of that nonsense. It's like 110 to 107 or something, and these games have been overtime, and there's been half-court winners, and it's watch it. The NBA, I know the ratings are down a little bit this year, but yeah, like some of these games have been pretty good. And ooh, geez Louise. And we talked about the ratings going down, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about that and what they can do to turn that around maybe. But from the trade deadline in the NBA to all the trade rumors in the NFL, it's time to get into the spectacular. So what's up, man? Is Garrett even tradable? What's going on?
He wants out,
Yeah.
and now they're talking about what's his the kid from Hendrickson from Cincinnati says either give me my extension or trade me. So he looks like he's tired of that too. Now, I know here in Detroit, everybody's like, oh, we got to trade for Garrett and Honor.
You can't. How?
How you gonna afford him?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna want, and he deserves it. He's gonna command this kind of money. So, like, I just don't know how Detroit's a player. See, this is the issue with 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 a player like that is how many teams is he going to be willing to is he going to want to go to that are going to want to pay his contract and do all that. So it's going to be interesting, but I think the players have all the leverage. So I'm sure I didn't listen today, but there's a big Radio Row presence at the Super Bowl, and I imagine he'd be making his media presence known, maybe even with his agent out there shopping for potential teams to kind of court a trade because, he'll be able to kind of do that right now. Where he can kind of put himself out there and make it, make himself a little bit more palatable as far as, you're getting an all-pro. You're getting
a one
best.
Wasn't he two-time defensive player of the year?
Yeah, it's just all about what you got to give up. I mean, you're talking about probably two ones.
2 ones and whatever honor what it's going to do. Right now CBS has 3 teams that make the most sense. Number 1 they got is the Lions. Trading for Garrett.
But do they have 2 ones and then a couple of like second, third?
They got them as a 2 ones right now. They would give up. The Browns would get the Lions' first round pick this year, and next year we get Garrett.
Who wants 20 something and whatever next year is? If we get Garrett, because our first round pick's going to be.
It's at the bottom on it. And if we get Garrett, and it's going to be at the bottom of the next 2 years, it'll be right. And if we get Garrett, we could have like the last pick on. We could be a Super Bowl contender.
Right. So who wants pick 27 and 30?
If that's all it takes, I'm making that move.
Yeah, because I don't think that happens. I think there's got to be more than that.
Now Washington's number 2. They got their number 1 this year and their number 1 next year, and defensive tackle Deron Payne.
See, now that's a little bit more palatable.
But Payne he's not lived up to expectations there. So
well, but if he adds depth.
He does add depth.
And he saves you some money, and it gets you some future picks, and you get a disgruntled player out of town when you already are losing your ass on other contracts, we'll just say. Maybe that's a more that makes a little more sense than the Lions.
And they got number 3 is the Patriots, where they get their first round this year, which is the number 4 overall.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
A 2026 second round, and they get Miles. But if I'm Garrett, do I want to go to New England because they're rebuilding there?
Well, if I'm Garrett, I don't want to go there.
I want to go to it's either Washington or the Lions.
I think Washington makes sense for everybody. I think in Detroit's case, it's a stretch. I think Cleveland can get more. I think maybe New England could give it to him, but
I don't know if
Garrett would want to go there. And I think Washington can give him what he wants, and Garrett would be glad to go to a team that is like on the fringe of making a Super Bowl compared to where he's at right now.
Right.
Now, granted, I think he'd like Detroit better, but I don't know if that's team-friendly enough trade for a team that's really suffering.
If they
right
trade
now.
for Garrett, then you're going to look at Goff, Penny Sewell, probably Amon-Ra. We'll all have to restructure their contracts.
Yeah, I just don't think it's possible to get the deal done. It's just too much going on, and then you got to pay, and it's just too much. I don't mind it if it's one of those, like if this happened at the end of the year and you had a guy down and you could work him in and he was on the last year of his game, like, and you got to run a player for 8 games, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But like, I'd say all in. But the way they're currently constructed, it's kind of hard to do it. And I just think that, once again,
you still got to re-up Aiden.
Right. And Cleveland can get more.
Right.
So elsewhere. So I think Washington, out of the 3 that have been proposed by CBS there, I think Washington makes the most sense for me. That would be interesting.
And again, for them, for Cleveland on it, if they're going to want a player, there's 4 players on the Lions team I think are untouchable. Sewell.
Yes.
Aiden.
Yes.
Probably Amon-Ra, just because of the culture thing.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm only the first 2 I'll say for sure. The other 2 I say maybe.
Maybe. I think the first 2 are no-brainers on it. But like if they want J-Mo, All right, I'll listen to it. If they
Right.
want Branch, I'd hate to do it, but I'll listen to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what it is, there's only, those would probably be the only two that I would say are untouchable. Not that I'm going to make the deal for anybody else. It's going to have to be a real good deal. But when it comes to Penei Sewell and Hutchinson, I'm not even having the conversation.
No, because again, those guys are not. They haven't even hit their prime yet.
They're generational talent, one on either side of the ball that haven't hit their prime yet, and I've got them locked in. I'm keeping them.
Because these are guys.
They're career guys.
Those are guys that are going to be here for another decade.
They're career guys.
Yep.
I'm locking them in until they can't play no more.
Right.
And I'm building around that. Because we talked about building from the offensive and defensive lines and building out to have longevity. And there's your cornerstones for 15 years.
Yes. Right. But
So,
if we can get Garrett, I think if they get Garrett, then if they can get Garrett, that's the biggest trade a Detroit team's made since the Tigers when we got Miggy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Real honor.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, because nobody comes here in free agency like that. Red Wings, you might think there might be a Red Wing.
The Red Wing trade, where you have to go really for trade-wise, you'd have to go back for the Wings traded Coffey and Primo for Shanahan.
Right. I was about to say Shanahan would be the
and
one.
that was the trade that got him over the top.
Right.
I mean, that's what even me and former host Scotty Super Genius said. And we both agreed. They got Shanahan, they're winning the cup this year.
Right.
We knew that was the piece they missed there. That power forward that could just sit there in front of the net, and he's got a cannon shot too. He's a sniper too, but he's that physical presence in front of the net there. And you look on it again. I mean, we saw what had happened with that season, especially with the March 27th, where McCarty's just beating the living snot out of Lemieux, and you see Waugh coming on there, and Shanahan comes up there and does the leaping Lanny Poffo dive on there, and basically takes him out, and then on there, just great. But yeah, that's the honor. Those are probably the two biggest traits or the Pistons when we got Sheed.
Yeah, that was fair. Yeah,
that put us over the top.
Yeah,
I think this is the kind of trade. If they do make this trade, if they can pull this off, that puts them over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be in the conversation. And it's nice to be able to say those words, right? Like if you do get him, that could really be.
And now the Rams are looking to trade Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, hold on, no, I don't want a 32-year-old broken down receiver.
Well, this is the deal. They're going to end up cutting him. Someone's going to pick him up for dirt cheap, make him a third.
Yeah,
option,
fine. I'll sign him as a third on there, but
Right.
I'm not trading for him and getting on the hook for a $12 million a year salary.
No,
if they want to eat, if LA wants to pick up half the tab on there, fine, we'll talk.
They're gonna end up cutting him.
Let him,
They're gonna end up cutting him.
Again, the guy can't stay healthy.
Well, it's one of those things where he's just untradeable. He doesn't have. Look, he runs great routes. He knows defensive disguises and coverages and how to fit in places or whatever. He just can't get separation like he used to.
No.
And a lot of that is from his injury history, and it's unfortunate, but it's a fact. So he's not a number 2 guy.
No.
If he's a number 2 guy, you can trade him in that contract.
If he's a number 2 guy, they're not trading him.
Well, maybe not, but you could trade that. You could make that trade.
You could make that trade on
right.
it, but because right now we know.
But because he's just kind of a really good 3, it's just hard to trade that contract.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where he's kind of caught in the middle there. And so I think they'll just end up cutting him. And then he'll go somewhere else for whatever he can negotiate. And he'll be fine as a 3
I mean,
receiver.
they cut him on.
He can run slants like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, again, look what the line's down there. Again, Denver couldn't trade Patrick, so they cut him, and we jumped on there. And again, by halfway through the season, you start seeing, he's getting some rapport with Honor, and he turned out to be a decent 3.
Right, and that's what you're going to get out of Cooper Kupp, and I think that's what's going to happen with somebody.
Do I go after Cooper Kupp? And I mean, if they cut him, fine, but I'd almost just say, re-sign Tim Patrick. It can't cost you that much.
Well, I mean, I'm not worried about it at the moment.
No.
I don't think it's something that you got to really rush out.
We got time on there. We got again. It's the free agent doesn't start till mid-March. So.
Right. So I just sit back and see how shit happens, how it plays out. When it's all said and done, Kupp might get cut, and now it's pretty enticing ask someone to come to
Oh,
Detroit.
did you hear the NFL's announced today they're having a game down under?
Oh, it's all getting going. They're trying their
Yeah,
damnedest.
now 2026, they are going to Melbourne, and the Rams are going to be playing the Eagles, or
Yeah.
the Rams are playing down there in Australia.
The players are getting pissed.
Yeah.
They're not hip to this. They're not. The players, their families,
The fans.
Yeah, they're just not. Well, fuck the fans. They don't care about us.
Well, I know the NFL doesn't care about us.
Yeah, obviously, but it's as far as their players and the players' families and all that stuff, they don't like it. And the NFL, the more the NFL pushes trying to get teams in Europe, it's the more it's going to be problematic, because let's be real, if you are a wife who marries an NFL player and deals with all the bullshit, you are not now going to go play for the Australia Wombats.
No.
You're not going. Sorry, honey, we're getting a fucking divorce.
Right.
I'm not fucking going. And the kids ain't fucking going.
Again, if I'm basically a player, no, I'm not going to Australia, because
Right.
that means it's like every time we fly, we're on the plane for a guaranteed minimum 15 hours.
All right. No.
No. I'm not losing 3 days every week. I got to fly.
Right.
Because you're going to get, basically, you fly 1 day out, 1 day back, and in 1 day you're basically, or 3 days, you're going to be jet lagged.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Come on. Enough's enough.
It's just greed, man. It's just greed. The NFL really kind of irks me with that stuff. I love watching the games, and it's hard to separate the games from the league itself, because the league's just kind of despicable. We've talked about it before. There's no integrity in sports, but like the league's been horrible with integrity, and they're going to have major issues. They're already having issues with people, whining about referees, and gambling is only going to get more sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And wilder, and so I don't know. It's not a good look. I think they could have done a lot better. It's the same thing, man. It's one thing to kind of subtly take something away, but kind of make an announcement that you're gonna take all your end racism stuff off of all your merchandise, all your field, all your stuff for the Super Bowl. Like, and you make the announcement.
Well, we know why they did that.
It's really gross.
Yeah.
And so, and you're doing it during Black History Month.
Right.
It's in 90% of your league is African American. They're non-white. How about that?
Right.
And so, it's like the league is so shitty in every way. The way they deal with talent in their in whether they protect and coddle the superstars that do despicable things, but then they run over the guys that do very little things just because they don't have talent anymore. We talked about the scales of justice in the NFL. And how simple it is, but it does go a little deeper in that. And so I'm not surprised that they're going to just, whatever. If these players get 82,000 concussions, what do we care? If they're, if they got to fly 62 hours one way to play on the other side on Mars, then that's what we'll do. If it makes us money, be damned. They don't care.
Right.
And so that's just the way it is. Same thing. Goodell is bound and determined to get this thing up to 20 games a year. 18 is coming in like 5 or 6 years. You'll get 18 games.
18 games up. I guess 3 years.
Well, they have to get out of the contract first. There's 6 years left.
Okay.
So They might get out in the last year. That's why I said
Right.
5 or 6 years. Because you can get out on the last year. You can be like, hey, we'll re-up you guys with these deals, and we'll rebargain we'll redo the bargaining agreement and all that. So, but yeah, it's just that part's disgusting. And let's be honest, the games aren't good.
No,
When they go to Germany or they go to Mexico or they go to London, the games are shite.
because the games are shite because the field conditions are shite.
Right.
Especially the Mexico one is always a disaster.
Well, and then these guys with their schedule, they're look, when you have something that runs like a machine like these guys do, it's because of their routine. And when you take that away from them and they don't get the proper sleep and diet and whatever, the mental release and all those things, they don't perform the same. And so, like, stop that. And then you're doing it, and then before you know it, they got another game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I mean,
even if you do it off the bye week or when they have a long week because they're already off their schedule, it's still going to catch up to them. You can't. It's abusive. At some point, it's going to become abusive.
And then today, the NFLPA came out. Lloyd Howell Jr., the executive director of the NFLPA, says no one wants to play an 18th game.
No.
He says, no, we don't want to play it.
Yeah.
He goes, no, not one player wants to play in 18 games.
Yep. Well,
Nobody. 17 is already too long already.
Yep. They don't give a shit, though. They're going to find a way to pass it.
Of course they're going to pass it because the NFLPA will cow.
Well,
They'll cave in.
Well, to the owners.
There's only one sports union that stands up to the owners, and that's MLB.
All right.
And even they, nowadays, but they at least in the past, they said, but the NFLPA is the worst sports union ever.
Well, in the respect of if you give any concession or any amount of money at all, they kind of fold. To your point,
yeah.
If you limit the testing on performance enhancers, they'll cave. If you allow marijuana, they'll cave. If you
give them a second bye week, though.
Yeah, you give them a second bye week or extra monies that they'll cave. So, create new incentives for contracts, anything that'll be financially beneficial for them. They cave pretty quick. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. It's kind of like when you go in for your review and you're like, you know what, I'm not taking anything less than a $3 an hour raise, and they offer you 65 cents. You go, thank you, sir, and you run out the door.
Right.
It's basically what happens.
Yep.
So I don't know, but we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, it is what it is, but I don't think those games are going to be worth a shit. If they're on in weird times or you got to catch a I don't get up at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to watch football.
Well, I don't know how they're going to do Australia because they're like 18 hours ahead of us.
Right.
So they're going to do what? I don't know how they're going to. There's no.
It's going to be like 7 a.m.
It'll be
at
at 9 a.m. on here on Sunday, but it's really like, like 5 a.m. and on Monday.
It's a Monday night game there, and it's a Sunday.
Do a Saturday night game here, and it's really Sunday afternoon there.
I don't know.
I don't know. You'd always have to give them 2 buys: a buy the week they go and a buy the week they come back.
It's just not fair. It's just
no, because your body can't handle that. Because your team, you don't get practice. You're going to lose literally 2 days of practice.
Well, anybody that's 4
days of practice, because 1 day flying back, 1 day for jet lag, and then you're basically, we're playing Sunday, but we're playing Thursday night. Well, no practice this week, everybody. See you on Thursday.
Everybody that's flown cross country knows like that feeling when you get home, and even if you're a seasoned flyer, you need to crash in your own bed and get some sleep and do your thing to get back to life. And that first day back's a little bit of a fog to it, right? But then you snap out of it pretty quick and you go on with your life. But imagine flying all the way to the other side of the planet to go punch in.
Right. I mean, again, you're on that plane. So you say it's an East Coast team going out to Australia. You're on that plane for 18 hours. Now, what are they going to do? Have to get a special charter plane that's like run by Virgin Airways, where they got those luxurious beds or whatever that you have to make special beds because these guys are all 6'5", 300-pound monsters.
I want a cryogenic chamber.
No, I don't know about that.
I mean, jeez Louise.
They burst in. We've already had issues there.
Here last week. You go. I gotta. Well, I mean, if I gotta be in the plane for that long, I'm gonna need something. You better put me in a medically induced coma.
Right.
That's a long time in a plane, dude. I'm sorry.
Past the fucking gummies.
Dude, that's way too much. Dude, we're gonna get hit by a helicopter, man. We can't be in the air that long. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, God, if you had again, New England going to Australia, they're on a plane probably 20 hours.
I mean, what are the chances that you get by and something doesn't go wrong? Like, that's a long flight. Dude.
Yes.
So,
I mean, they do it all the time because my sister.
I know they do it all the time, but like, the more of those flights that you're taking, the more chances there are. The more, I mean, I know it's.
That's all we need. Is something happened where your whole two NFL team, or one if it's a plane, they're taking separate, obviously, jet set. But yeah, your plane goes down, and your franchise is gone.
Right. I mean, it's just.
Of course, you're gone too because you're. Oh no, they're flying. I'm going to Australia, and yeah.
It just seems like it's. I know.
Then you mentioned that lawsuit.
I mean, I know flying is one of the safest forms of transportation that we have available to us. I get all that. And I get that there's an inherent risk no matter what, in that there would be flying across country. And if you fall out of the sky, you fall out of the fucking sky. But there's a difference between taking a 3-hour flight and a fucking 15-hour flight. That's like saying, oh, it's no different to drive up north than it is to drive to South Beach, Florida from Detroit.
Right.
No, there's a huge difference. It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I just, so, way more stuff can happen. So, I don't know. It's just like, and I've never heard of anybody that's made the trip all the way there and back and didn't have some kind of snafu somewhere along the way. Knock on wood, I think I'm the only one that's never had a flat tire or a whatever. So, yeah, anything can happen. You got to have a layover because something's with the plane, and now you can't even get your game off on time.
No.
I mean, that's kind of more what's realistic, right? You have an issue with the plane. You got to land somewhere early. And by the time you get the plane fixed and get back rolling and get back on the air, fuck the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Kelly, my wife's got a friend who, she stood up in a wedding on there.
Yeah.
So she's going back to New Zealand this year.
Right.
And she goes, yeah, we had a 2-day layover in L.A. because there's no way I'm being on that plane for 18 hours.
Right.
It's bad enough being on it for 4, getting to L.A., and then basically rest 2 days, and then I got to fly another 15 hours to New Zealand.
Right. So
I mean, when they got there, it was like, it was a trip of a lifetime.
Right, right. But I mean, still, there's a lot that kind of goes into that, and I'm sure that they weren't going out there and playing football, right?
Yeah, they're not out there getting their head bashed in repeatedly on it. But
it's just having to perform at a top physical condition, it's crazy. So I don't know. As much as you try to relate to it, I don't know how you could. And the players, as much as they are angry about not wanting to play an 18th game, do you think they want to go to flipping Germany? Do you think they want to go to Mexico? Do you think they want to go to New Zealand or Australia or fucking anywhere else? They don't. They don't. It's silly. And no one wants to watch the games. They look like shit. They come off like shit. They don't play. The games aren't usually very well played. And so, between the field conditions and the TV production and why? Because of money.
Yep.
Greed, money, greed, money, greed.
Yes.
But the NFL is going to NFL. And they're going to money, greed.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Oh, yeah. I love me some breaking news.
Heat are finalizing a trade to the Warriors and sending Jimmy Butler.
Ooh, big time move for the Warriors.
Basically, it looks like Wiggins, P.J. Tucker, and a protected first round go to Miami. Dennis Schroeder is going from the Warriors to Utah.
Okay.
Golden State's Kyle Anderson is heading to Toronto.
Oh,
The
jeez.
Pistons get Lindy Waters III.
Holy fuck, how many teams are in there?
And the Heat's Josh Richardson.
Oh, damn. What is there, 4 teams in that trade? 5? A 5-team trade. And the Pistons made out.
Yes.
That's what I said. We got to get in on it. I didn't think it'd be 5 teams, though.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Detroit?
Yeah. I mean, we get Lindy Waters, a forward, 6'6", small forward on there. So that's a nice one. But, yeah, Josh Richardson, baby.
We'll take it.
There's your shooting. There's your So, yeah.
What? And Jimmy Butler's going to Golden State.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's a huge boost for Golden State. They needed something, and that's huge. So Golden State and Detroit, I think, won in that.
Yes.
I mean, not that the other teams can't, but felt like those 2 teams did all right. 5-team trade. That's insane. There's got to be obviously some other minor details that make all the money work and everything else, but those are probably just the main cogs.
Yeah.
But holy cow.
Okay.
I like it. Hey, man, we were talking about it in the open. When we got into this whole thing, I wanted to see, and I said it last week.
You know what? I think this could work out for Golden State on there because Butler gives them that intensity, especially on defense-wise. And again, playoff Jimmy Butler
is a totally different dude. I mean, it's
and
real. That's a real thing, man.
I mean, between him and Curry, they're not going to let Draymond ain't going to get out of hand with now. Butler ain't going to put up with that bullshit.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think there's an element of Jimmy Butler's going to come in there and be like, dude, if you're going to act like a clown, then this ain't going to work. And so I think it'll be, Draymond will just kind of, I would assume with another alpha in there would kind of acquiesce a little bit and act right. But we'll see how it works out. Yeah. But to your point, an explosive player who can score at will, basically. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing, and they needed something to spice that up. And really, if you were to break it down and say, hey, we're gonna lose Clay, but we're gonna pick up Jimmy Butler. I mean, that's not. No. It's not bad.
Like, and I think the Pistons getting Josh Richardson is a huge plus too. I think.
Well, and like I said last week, I wanted them to get involved with it. I said that very same thing. I'm not saying go get Jimmy Butler. They're going to need multiple teams to get involved in this trade. You need to get in there and get something.
And again, by getting this, trust me, the Pistons still may not be done. What happens if we go after and we get some of these pieces we got and we make a move when we get Bobby Portis?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
you put Portis at the 4. He's a stretch 4. Oh yeah.
I mean, if we got
basically you get in basically if they get Bobby Portis, it means is they may look at and get rid of Tobias Harris and send him off.
Right. Which I mean,
again, he's a great presence in the locker room in that, but on the court, it's like
and it's one of those things like at some point you're going to, when you're a bad team, having a locker room guy is great. When you start getting good and start getting better on the roster and adding depth and doing all these different things, then ultimately there is something that's sacrificial. You should have culture already. If you're going to have these good players, it should be pretty natural. And you don't necessarily need a guy that's only a locker room guy. If that's all he's really there for, and he's a cheap contract and he can play a few minutes for you and those kinds of things, sometimes you just get to a point where that doesn't help you anymore. And, that's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it works in the game sometimes. Yep. So it is what it is. But I like to see Detroit making moves and do it. And thank you for listening to the show finally. I mean, all these years we've been begging you to do stuff. And for once, I said get involved in the Jimmy Butler trade. Don't get Jimmy Butler, but get involved in the trade. Get
Right.
somebody that you need that fits what you got going on, and they effing did it. I like it.
Yeah, well,
I can't complain if I was on the air last week saying do it, and then this week they do it.
Trajan Langdon looks like, man, he might be a legit GM.
I mean, it looks that way.
You look at the signings he made in the offseason, and you look at some of these trades, like, all right.
Well, if he understands talent and how to put it together, then he will be a good GM, right?
Like, I mean, again, we were so shitty.
Well, there's nowhere to go but
up. So, I mean, we can't. We only won 14 games last year. We can't go much worse than that.
Well, and that was the big conversation about it when he came in. I says, I tend to like this guy. He won the press conference, but and he's been doing well so far. Just in preliminary and stuff. And now that we've gotten to a trade deadline here and seen him in action, I do like what he's doing. I did say, I swear I said I think I'm a Trajan Langdon guy here already back when he first came in and started doing stuff. So yeah, once again, if I'm on here, praising and or saying things and they do it and follow through with it, I can't do anything but be happy. So, yep, good move for them. If they can get into the play-in or the playoffs, that would be a great leap from where they were last year. And really just the fact that people are looking at the Pistons as they're not an easy out anymore, that's a big change. When you talk to, they even kind of referring to it on SportsCenter with some of these highlights, like Detroit's them dogs, man. Like you don't want to mess with the dog, and Detroit is gonna end up re-earning the reputation they've kind of always held, right? From the bad boys to the going to work Pistons to whatever this iteration is gonna be. Nobody wants to mess with these boys.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's a team where people are getting bumped around, and you're going to have to play hard, and you're going to get dunked on, and even if they're not necessarily successful, they're going to try some crazy, shit. Like I've been watching the Pistons. If you watch the Pistons, they'll alley-oop and they'll dunk over guys, and they may get blocked or they may miss, but they're aggressive.
Yes.
And they're playing really well right now, and dudes are like, man, as the boys would say, they got the dog in them, and cats are looking at Detroit on the schedule and going, man, this ain't gonna be an easy night. It's gonna be a rough one.
Right.
Whether win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be a tough
This seems
night.
a lot different. It's 180. It's a 180-degree difference from last year.
Right, and just that presence right there alone is what I like. Like the results are obviously what we're looking for, the end results, but the fact that the league looks at the Pistons in a different manner is really what tells me that hopefully they're on the right track here long term. So great news. Love that they got in on once again. I cannot complain. Everything I've asked them to do since he's shown up, they've followed through and done. It's been a pretty good for them. So I am a happy camper. So let's keep it up, boys, and let's see what they can do in the meantime. Still got a little time to do something. You never know what they could do. We've like I said, sneak something in there.
Yep.
Surprise us with something.
Surprise.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So anyway, all right, enough of the NBA for the moment until they break some more news here. We've got to get into more Super Bowl stuff, man. Halftime show. Who's a halftime show? Who is your favorite halftime show? What's the best halftime show? What snacks you eating? You got some recipes? Send them our way. We want them. We want to eat them.
Yes.
Also, prop bets like a mofo. Dynasty. Is it going to happen or not? Is this the greatest dynasty of all dynasties? And I'm not talking about late night soap opera shows. All that stuff is on the table.
Is Pat Riley going to get paid?
Yeah. No.
Because he owns the trademark to three-peat?
Yeah, right. All kinds of stuff going on out here in the NFL for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that's in the second hour.
And so we'll be back in just a few. We are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Welcome back, Rebelz! Yeah! We're at a weird new place today. Yes, you are live on the Scrappy page. Check it out, DSR2. We're going to have a new DSR2 page. It's up. Go over there, like it, follow it, be friends with it, love it, caress it, make it your own. Then we get to our magic numbers. We will start going live from that page, and then we'll be corresponding a YouTube channel that'll go along with it as well, and we'll go live from there. We're live everywhere. You can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, and all the great places you get your podcast. Make sure you download us, watch us, listen, share, tell everybody about us, have fun, enjoy. We've got Pistons tickets coming in a few weeks, and we want to get everybody on board as we push all our free crap. So there we go. Been talking NFL. It is our Super Bowl spectacular, but we have absolutely have not forgotten about the NBA and all the stories they have made. Moose is making faces as things are coming through the interwebs. So let's get into it. Without further ado, it's hour 2 of DSR2. I am Scrappy. I don't know what this freaking accent is, but we're moving on. And here is your host, Sonny the
Hey, we're back here for the second hour of our Super Bowl extravaganza. On our case, we ended up talking quite a bit about NBA because trades were breaking. I mean, we had to go with the recap of the trades. And then Butler gets traded to the Warriors, and we had to talk about that because our Pistons were definitely involved on there as well. So, yep, again, second hour, it's all football, Super Bowl, food, prop bet. Unless another trade breaks.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, and I'm all about foods and stuff like that. And my go-to has always kind of like been like pizza stuff or taco stuff or whatever.
Wings.
But, yeah, wings are always a great one. But
you know what the number one on there for their recipes on there is for this is according to Delish for Super Bowl foods on there, and I'm thinking this sounds freaking tasty as hell. Chicken parm sliders.
I was gonna say pulled pork sliders is a big thing that's come out.
Ham and
lately.
cheese sliders too. They're nice.
Those have all been like a huge deal as of recently. I feel like, and I'm all in on some of that stuff. But I have got to now. Part of my deal is the charcuterie board, dude. I gotta have some dried meats and cheeses and different things just on a chunk of wood on the table.
We did that a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
We're getting again, friend on there, Storm Raven. Spent big money on a charcuterie
I'll
board.
say that one was insane.
But he does that. He goes over the top because he's just again that type of guy. Here, I want to basically do this for everybody, so they can enjoy it. And it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. I was there more.
That was probably the best charcuterie board I've ever seen.
I was on that more than anything else the whole night, I think, probably. And so, yeah, my cousin is a chef, right? So he's always bringing those things to the holidays, and to me, that's like the go-to thing for snacking, pre-meal, for the Super Bowl and throughout the evening, right?
Yes, because you can put it out there and it's going to go on. Nothing's going to have to worry about it. You can just go there and nosh a little bit on it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm always a big fan of the classic buffalo wings. We'll probably do that. I don't even know what we're doing for Super Bowl. Right now, it looks like we're just going to hang out at home and have some food and watch the game.
I think that's the general feel for a lot of people.
Because I'm not really, again, I know it's a Super Bowl.
It's a Super Bowl that nobody wants, right?
Right. I'm not thrilled about it because I don't want to see them again.
Yeah.
Again, God, we wanted Buffalo.
Yeah, everybody wanted Buffalo and Detroit, and then Buffalo and Washington.
Right. I'm like, oh, Buffalo, Washington. I would at least be excited about it, but this one, I'm like,
yeah.
all right. Super Bowl, but whatever.
Well, you know what you got to do is you got to try to find some of the things that you can, it's just like anything else. You got to find the silver lining or the positives in it. And so we'll dive into that a little bit in a little bit. But yeah, I think you're outside of KC or Philly. Really, nobody really wants this. It's one of those things where you feel like you're kind of being force-fed these teams almost. But this is how it goes. Look, the league is really balanced except for the top 2 or 3 teams and the bottom 2 or 3 teams. Right. And the league's kind of always been like that. And we have years where things get upset or turned around or so we have a big surprise or whatever. But this is how it goes. And you are, once again, we're just in another era where you have another dynasty. There's a dynasty for every era. You can go back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. 50s. You can go all the way through.
Right.
Well, I want to try to stay. I should probably. How about this? How about we stay in the 70s?
All right.
Modern football.
Modern football. Well,
so,
yeah.
Steelers forward.
Steelers was the Steelers won 4.
Right.
Cowboys won 3.
Right.
During that whole
right.
decade.
Right.
There. So you had those 2 on there. Steelers had one, back to back, and then a couple years off, and then they went back to back to close out the decade.
Right.
And then Dallas won in 71, and then they won 2 in the early 70s, and then one when they beat the hell out of Denver.
Right.
And on that, and then sandwiched between they had 2 losses to Pittsburgh, and then the 80s was Frisco.
Right.
Winning essentially 4 in that decade.
Right.
And then we had the 90s was
the
Dallas, the Cowboys
Yeah.
again. And then the 2000 to
New England.
2000 to 2020 was New England.
All right.
For 20 years.
All right. So.
And now we got KC, which is won 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 6, or 3 out of 5, and if they win this one, it'll be 4 out of 6.
Right.
I don't even want KC to win.
I do because there's nothing else to get.
Yeah. I mean, on there,
there's nothing
I
else
don't
to
want
get.
KC to win, but I don't want Philly to win because Philly fans are animals.
Well, if Philly wins the championship? What's that prove? What's that? It's nothing. It doesn't. It's nothing. The only people that are happy, the only thing that matters, the only record or whatever, it's just Philly fan. There's nothing there.
No. Whereas you see greatness, a three-peat, which is nobody's ever done.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're talking about history, you're talking about NFL history. There's a difference. Do you want to witness NFL history or just Philly win a Super Bowl?
A Super Bowl.
I mean, Philly won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback that nobody gave a shit about, and everything fell apart after they spent big money on a fucking head case rookie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you? I mean, so yeah, I'm not happy about the fact that year in and year out, it's all about Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, and here we go again, and blah 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 blah. But this team, over the since Mahomes has taken over, has won games in every single way humanly possible.
Remember, there's only one quarterback that's still playing, active quarterback, that's beaten Mahomes in the playoffs.
Right.
JoJo.
Right.
Because it was him and Brady. Brady's retired now, but
right.
Yeah. Mahomes doesn't lose in the Super Bowl.
So
well, he did to Brady.
Right. But it's one of those things where, to me, they win you can complain about the refs. You can, they should have lost this game. They should have lost that game. They got lucky here. They got lucky there. You don't win 15 games without having some luck. You don't win championships without having some luck. The problem is when you do it so frequently with such consistency, there is a thing where you can, make your own luck.
Right.
And so that's a big part of it. And you can bitch about the referees, but it just makes you look like a simpleton with no brain because you can't, articulate an actual reason for why teams continue to lose, and so you make excuses. And so Kansas City will continue to beat teams in any way they can, whether it's blocked punts, whether it's fucking blocked field goals, whether it's doinked in field goals, whether it's last minute freaky plays, whether it's taking advantage of a miscue or a favorable call in the field that happens to every team every week in every game that has ever been played in the history of every sport.
Right. You have to realistically look at it as Mahomes in the playoffs is lights out better. I mean, he's great in the regular season, but come playoff time, he just kicks it into.
So we talk about playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, you got playoff Mahomes. Playoff Kelsey, same way. Didn't have a great year, but look what he's done in these playoffs.
Right. And even when he doesn't have a great game, he's out there, he's productive, and the timing when he makes the catches and the plays are very crucial.
And Spagnuolo in the playoffs calls such a great defensive strategy every week.
Yep.
And again, he ain't going anywhere. He's up there in age. He could go to probably get another coach. No, he's good. Because I'm happy here with it. You look at that, and again, you look at Reed and Spagnuolo. I mean, everybody's got together with that. I mean, they are just a better team come playoff time because they've got the experience. They've won repeatedly in the playoffs, gone to multiple Super Bowls, won these Super Bowls, and now they know the secret sauce recipe.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is on there. And again, I'm not even it's just the three-peat on there. And again, it's the Super Bowl nobody wants. But again, I do agree. Do we want to look at great? And again, you're probably going to convince me to say yes, root for Kansas City wise, because at least you know what, the fan base is actually a lot better than Philly fan base.
Absolutely. That's the other thing. I mean, you've got, you've got Melissa Etheridge as a fan of KC.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, they're all fans of KC. So he said they got much better fans.
Yes, and they never booed and threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Right.
So there, rat bastard, evil fucks.
These sons of bitches.
Their tailgate's better than your tailgate. What do you got to bring cheesesteaks? They bring the whole cow. I mean, come on. You walk into a KC tailgate, and what do you smell? Beef. Another recipe here on there. I'm looking on there. The blooming quesadilla ring. Buffalo chicken quesadilla, like on there in the row. I mean, ooh. Hoagie dip.
Oh, I'm all down for that. That sounds fun.
Nashville hot chicken dip. Ooh.
See, I feel like I want to do that. I want to shred some meats and put it in some hot cheeses and then just call it a dip.
We used to do the buffalo chicken dip on there, and it's always a stellar on there. I think that might be, if you had a party, it's a good go-to because you can bread, crackers, it don't matter.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good.
Just kind of soak up whatever you can with it. Yeah, yes. I like it. I want to do something like that. I just want to concoct something. Have you ever? I used to do that when I was a kid. I would just like make shit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even know what the hell I'm really making. I kind of want to eat like a kid again, but I don't think my belly will let me do it.
Here it is, crock pot buffalo chicken dip.
Sounds so good.
Best queso dip.
So the charcuterie board, some beverages, and that's all got to be on tap all day. But I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing you are, Moose, and I think a lot of people are. I'm just going to be kind of chilling back, and so there might be somebody here, but for the most part, well, no, actually, I got a friend coming over, and we're going to hang out and watch the game, and my dogs will be here. I don't know what we're going to do. It might just be like order a pizza or something. Like we might do something that lame.
We're gonna do some wings.
That I was thinking about that. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it because I want to do something, but I don't know if I want to put in the effort. That's my problem.
See the wing? I mean, I throw them in the smoke. The wings is nothing to it. If you had an air fryer, or
that's
a smoker,
what I wish I had, an air fryer. That's what I need. That's where my deficiencies lie. I have
Get the air fryer. It's the game changer.
Yeah, it is.
Because it doesn't heat up the house. You can do wings in about 15 minutes, and it's perfect. A little oil, basically a little cornstarch on there. You throw them in there. You get them just seasoned in there. You throw them in there. Get them all crisped up. Pull them out. Throw your sauce on there. Throw them back in there for 2 minutes on there. Caramelize that sauce. You're done. Bam. It's easy. Again, as much as people, they honor whoever made that the air fryer. Well, again, the air fryer. Basically, all they did was make a small convection of it. Is really what it is.
I just got an email. That's interesting. From Dream Reach Media. They we're hiring. Interested?
I have to look at what's
The Dream Reach Media team is looking for help in various areas.
Yes.
Okay.
Ew, this is never. Nope, never gonna happen.
Okay.
Tempeh buffalo wings, quicker, easier to make than buffalo chicken wings. Plant-based version swaps chicken for
What?
Scroll
No.
tempeh.
Blah. Boo.
Boo! That's what I said. This is the no.
Boo.
No.
Boo this food.
Fucking.
Why?
Why you do? Why do you have to ruin it?
Weird emails, weird spammy emails aside. Yeah, that's gross, Moose.
No.
I'm not doing plant-based fake meat stuff.
No.
To each his own, but that's not me. So
No.
please, none of your weird vegan recipes.
God,
I appreciate you for trying, but
No.
no.
We're not even thanking you.
And Moose is like, no, that's
No, we're not
sacrilege.
thanking you at all. You just ruined it. You ruined
yeah,
it for everybody.
pretty
You're
much.
a rat
Yeah,
bastard.
pretty much. That stuff's horrible. I don't mean to. I'm carnivore-ish for the most part. I know our teeth and our digestive systems are not designed to be carnivores, but I don't care.
I'm an omnivore.
Yeah.
I eat anything. But I'm not eating some freaking bullshit plant-based substitute for chicken wings.
It never is right, Moose.
No.
Even when they do they have like different things that they can put together to make it kind of chickeny, like whether it's like a mushroom with a this and a that and a whatever. Yeah, no, you can fuck all the way off with that shit. It's horrible. It's never right.
Plant-based, I'm having a salad.
But
I'm having an antipasto. What it's going to have? Salad and meat and cheese.
My pops eventually did go vegetarian, like slowly. He's not like full vegan, but he slowly kind of went vegetarian in the fact that he, not that he didn't enjoy steaks and burgers and all that stuff before, but he just kind of got rid of the red meat. It was better for his health, and so he will try these meat substitute things, and he will give them to me to cook on the grill, and I'm like, fuck is this thing?
It's not going on my grill. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no. Pops gets a spot on his grill. It's just it's not. It's just. It's probably gonna taste like real meat, just so you know.
Because it's gonna have real meat essence on it.
I am not cleaning my grill.
I am not getting the oven spray and clean the grill.
Yeah, no.
Oven, easy off.
It's not happening.
Nope.
I just my grill is nice and seasoned, and it's gonna be.
I
nice
just
and
scrape off the excess.
Exactly.
I tried burning it off, and when it's burnt on there, I just use the brush and
get rid
scrape
of
it off real quick, and that's it.
that's all you need to do. And so his little bird ain't gonna mess my grill up. Like, he ain't gonna contaminate my grill. It's gonna be the other way around, if anything. So I'm not worried about it. It lands on the grill. But that shit, I don't care what they get it to taste like. That shit ain't a burger. Dude, like when you flip it and move it and grab it and put it on a patty and melt stuff on it and we'll put things with it and all that shit. Nah, dude. Nah. That looks like something I made in the sandbox when I was 6.
Right.
It's horrible. But, to each
there was the old Parks and Rec show on there, and when you talk about meat and everything, and they got the Rob Lowe's character makes this turkey burger, and it's got with the microgreens, and it's all Parmesan cheese crisp, and it's all with this, and I'm like, oh, that's really delicious. And he made his own aioli on this, and also they got Ron Offerman. Nick Offerman basically is Ron Swanson. Basically goes, this is a burger. What is it made with? Meat. That's it. And all it is just a plain burger, no condiments, whatever, on bun. And I'll taste it. And I'm like, okay, oh, this is so much better. And even he goes, oh yeah, this is way better than mine. It's just because it's just meat.
Yeah, because it's real meat. Look, I got a friend in the music industry who stays away from red meat as well. And but he wanted to come over and do the barbecue gimmick when we were up north and stuff like that. So he bought we all got brats and all that shit, for a day at one of the lunch days. And he brought some turkey sausage. Exactly. That's the thought I had. And they were brat sized.
Well, you just tell me, pork is a white meat.
Yeah, right. They're brat size ish. And I'm like, they're a little bit smaller, but pretty close. And so I put him a couple on and whatever. And he's like, you should throw one on for yourself. You should try it. And I'm like, I got real brats, dude. I don't need this turkey shit. But I did try one. And they were very good.
Yeah. Now, I can't do occasionally
But I know what it is. And I'm not trying to trick myself into eating something that I'm not.
Right, you know it's a turkey brat, so you expect it to be okay.
And it tasted
some decent, but
it tasted good, and it's something good for a change.
Right.
It's a little bit different. Like if you are sick of eating regular hot dogs, get a couple of those, get those one time, and have a couple of those, and whatever you want to have with it. Some fried little, chopped up fried potatoes with some scallions or something like that, and whatever. And it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. I like it. It's a nice little something different. But I'm not going around eating those things pretending like I'm eating brats. I'm not like lathering them in barbecue sauce and acting like they're brats.
Now I do occasionally in the summer. We'll go get some brats and everything, and I go to the local market. It's not a chain. Well, it's a chain, but they're a local chain. There's only a couple, and they get their sausage and brats and everything they get them freshly made from Rinaldi, which is local here, and they have a really nice chicken, spinach, and feta brat. But I know what I know what I'm expecting. It's going to be a different flavor,
right?
And they're good.
Well,
but I know what I'm getting into.
And you're not using it to replace
something.
No,
because I'm still buying regular brats. I just buy an assortment. Hey,
sure.
Maybe you want to try this. I'm not forcing my way onto it.
Oh, yeah.
You pick. Right. There's no wrong way to pick.
Right.
Because I got real beer brats and, basically, cheddar brats, and I got a Michigan cherry brat with the pork, and I get
and the reason I like getting some of those other things from that stuff too is because if I run into people that come to our parties and they want to hang out or they want to do something and they kind of have a certain kind of diet, I can go, oh, you know what? I got something you'd like. I can pull that out, pop that in, and I've got a turkey sausage, or I've got a this, that, or a third, like you were talking about. And I think. So, yeah, I don't mind any of that stuff. But me personally, the fuck out of here with some of that shit. But
give me a good beer brat, sauteed onions,
right,
red and green, yellow peppers, and some spicy brown mustard, and I'm all set. I'm happy. With potato salad. With eggs,
yeah.
And mayonnaise, and all right, so we got some of our prop bets here on that. Basically, is
who's the halftime this year? I forgot.
Kendrick Lamar.
That's right.
Is he going to be dropping the Drake disc?
Yeah.
Did you see that? They announced when he won the rap song of the year, and all of a sudden they played it right the moment where it's right when he's doing the Drake disc, and he's walking up on there.
Yeah, I think somehow he's going to Easter egg some kind of diss in there.
Well, of course he is.
Yeah.
Well, good, because I'm fine.
I'm fine with it.
All right, so over under this is a weird one on there is Kelsey under 15.5 miles per hour.
That's a silly one. How under or over? I know he's been kind of slow this year. He might be under.
Yeah, they said the under is a minus 116 on FanDuel.
Yeah. That's silly. That's a first, I think, for that.
Yeah. Xavier Worthy, anytime TD plus 165. I'm might take that one up on it. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
Plus the 165 on anytime TD. Yeah, I might throw down something.
Anytime
on that
TD. Okay. Yeah, that one sounds legit.
one. Yep.
Which some of these are so crazy.
Last play of the game, QB Neal, yes, minus 188.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I don't think this is going to be down to like a Hail Mary or anything like that. So.
No. Saquon Barkley, longest run, 24.5 yards, minus 120.
How many yards?
His longest run.
Oh.
Not overall, your
Right.
longest run, 24.5.
Okay. That's tough.
Uh,
He definitely can break a longer one, though.
yes.
I think he'll go over.
I would go over.
Yeah,
don't
I
know
would
if
too.
Coin toss, heads, tails is the favored, minus 105.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal.
Gatorade color, they got purple plus 300. Chiefs have had purple Gatorade in each of the last two Super Bowls.
Oh, interesting.
I think they changed it up. I think it's going to be yellow.
Yeah, maybe.
First touchdown, jersey number under 15.5. That'd be the jersey number. It's going to give you get Hurts or Mahomes or Xavier Worthy, because I think he's got one, or
Right.
Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown. Yeah.
Okay.
Total
that's a
sacks in a
weird one.
game, 5.5, minus 145.
Total sacks in a game.
Total sacks. Eagles and Chiefs combined for 2 total sacks in the last Super Bowl.
Do you think it'll only be with the way?
I think it'd be over.
I think it'd be over. Yeah. So I think the way these defenses are playing.
Yeah. I think it's going to be actually a pretty decent. I think game wise, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Oh, I think it should be. We say that all the time, but it should be.
Barkley is total yards on there, 112.5.
Ooh.
And it's minus 109. So they're thinking he's going to.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't know.
He's been just a
He's
machine
been on
in
fire, man.
these playoffs.
It's hard.
This whole season.
Yeah.
And then you got Chris Jones. Well, great. His 2009, yeah, whatever. His rushing, you get 2,500 total yards. That's great. I had 2,600 in 2000, whatever. I'm like, you know what? But yeah, then you were gone in the league within 3 years afterwards.
Right. So what's that even matter?
You know,
Retards.
you were just fast.
Just fast.
And then you got hit. You go, oh, that hurt. Largest lead, 13 and a half points, plus 105. I think it's going to be a close game. Over under 48 and a half.
I think it'd be over. I don't know. The defense has been pretty good, but 48 and a half.
Yeah, but Philly's been just scoring.
Well, their offense has been on fire this week or this last couple weeks.
Season, yeah.
I'm gonna say
go
over.
over.
I'm gonna say over. Yep, because I already in my prediction will be over. So
Ooh, this one might be worth throwing down a 10 spot. I can do it all. Xavier Worthy to score 1 rushing TD, 1 receiving TD, plus 2,800.
Ooh, well, that's interesting.
Any QB to catch a pass, plus 1,600.
To catch a pass?
To catch a pass.
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
No. If the lines were there, yes.
Yeah.
Because they do.
Yeah, they do shit like that.
Washington was there, yes.
Potentially.
Will there be an overtime, plus 1,300?
I don't think so.
Position of Super Bowl MVP, tight end, plus 1,400.
No.
A tight end has never won a Super Bowl MVP.
And it's not gonna start this year.
Because it'll be Mahomes or Barkley. I think would be your favorites to be the MVP.
Yep. Those are your favorites, yep. I mean, Hurts could get it if he carries a team to victory, but he just doesn't typically do that. You'd have to have like Barkley got hurt or some shit, because he's just too dominant and he's gonna
unless
be too
like
much of a
Chris
factor.
Jones goes off and gets like 3 sacks and he may get that. Or
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, but yeah, it could.
it's been a while.
Yeah, that has. So there's gonna be some interesting plays, I would like to say.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see some goofy stuff, but I don't know. I think most of these guys are gonna, we'll see how they play it. I would imagine they're gonna take their shots here. You got a game where it's about a handful of plays, and and you need to make some big plays. But I don't see a quarterback catching a pass.
No.
Not with this roster. Last thing you
I
want to
think
do
the odds of Xavier Worthy getting a receiving and a rushing touchdown are probably better than a quarterback receiving.
Significantly
passing.
better. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're going to pick some of these prop bets, some of these fun prop bets, holy cow! So, but yeah, I dig the Super Bowl for all the crazy stuff. When I'm watching the game, it's not until because we always talk about these prop bets every year, move some of the ones. We just kind of run through some of these and goof on them.
Yeah.
But I didn't really realize all that stuff. But every time something happens weird in the game or whatever, I think that should have been one of the prop bets, or that was one of the prop bets. Or whatever, and I never really thought about it before, but it's another one of those things that I will find that's enjoyable about this game when you don't want to watch the game, right? Like you start watching for the halftime show or the commercials or being at the party with the people and all these other things that go around the game. So, I mean, if you're pooped about the game or bummed out about the game, I get it, but I mean, like, there's so much other fun stuff around the game, and I like kind of watching for the prop bets as much as any of the other stuff they put out. Because the Super Bowl commercials used to be a huge deal. I haven't heard anybody talk anything about them this year.
Nope. On there this year's been pretty quiet. I know the Chiefs are wearing white jerseys.
Okay.
And the Eagles will be in a. Are the Eagles going to wear their normal? Are they going to wear their dark green
or
are they
the black?
Go with the black? Are they going to go all black, or are they going to do the stupid Kelly green?
I'd go all black, but I don't know what they're going to do.
We'll probably just do the standard black green with the dark green with the black.
Right. That's what I would assume. I'd do the all black, though, if I were them.
They'll probably do the stupid Kelly green.
Oh, gosh, I hope not. But they might.
Because of the Eagles.
Yeah, but it would just look weird. I don't like it. And I like it. But, yeah, they'll probably just do the traditional dark green game that they normally do. That I assume is on the prop bet list too. No, or they have it.
No, they don't have that.
They don't have.
There.
Oh yeah,
because they already announced
they
it.
announce them. Yeah, that's right. They do announce them. So, So now it comes down to the game itself. I'd like to think, and we talk about it a lot. Most of these games. Oh, this should be a good game. Oh, this should be a good game. But you're talking about a Kansas City team who has had how many one-possession games this year?
Quite a few.
I mean, 8 or 9 of them?
Yeah.
And they won all of them, I think.
And I think both teams are, for the most part, pretty healthy-wise on there. I think the only one, the Chiefs said of any of their players on there, Mahomes is healthy. There's really Sky Moore is limited. That's about it for them. But, again, he's been kind of like on the cusp on there, kind of the outside in, because Xavier Worthy has been pretty much taking all his snaps.
Sure.
Eagles, Jalen Carter's is got illness, so he's then on there. Kenneth Gainwell's concussion protocol. Brandon Graham's done for the year on there, so that's, I mean, oh no, he's actually, him and Devontae Smith are limited, so yeah.
Yeah,
they're both pretty healthy.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot like that as far as that goes. So, with Philly's offense cranking like it hasn't all year. And Casey's defense playing so well, I just think this is one of those games where the recipe is there. Everything you need is there, and these, you've had a team that, won 15 games this year, and half of them or more were one possession games, and they win them.
Right.
So you know it's going to be, so the chances of a nail biter is there because they don't get blown out. And then now you got a team that's actually got an offense going, which was their weakness at one point, where they were struggling with their offense and getting things going. And Saquon Barkley's really changed that, and there's a lot to handle there. This should be a really exciting game. I think it could get out of hand in Philly's favor, to be honest with you. I mean, if you think about the athleticism that team's got and the ability to not be able to stop a lot of different things, like, for instance, the tush push or just Saquon Barkley in general. Like, if he breaks a couple of big runs and gets a touchdown or two, and then the offense
A.J.
stays
Brown and contested balls.
right, and they stay on the field with first downs because they're going on fourth down all the time and pushing, and like that's when it could get out of hand for KC. When I look at KC, do I see them I haven't seen anything this year that leads me to believe that they're going to run away with it, but they've always been able to find a way to win. So, like, it's going to be one of those things. Does Philly get out ahead early and quick and get up on them and can stage them off? Or, can KC – has KC had to mount a big comeback? Can they, if it's necessary? I don't even know what to look for sometimes when you start looking at this game, because if you really think about it, it's not like you're going to look at them and go, okay, well, you could be generic. This is the best I could give you, right? Here's your big analysis. If KC keeps it close, be worried, Philly, because they will steal a game from you in a heartbeat, and they don't lose close games. But in Kansas City, you better hope Philly doesn't get out ahead of you, because I haven't seen Kansas City come back in, being down.
And I don't think Philly's going to give up the lead, because
right.
Barkley's going to be getting that ball.
I was about to say, and it's not like Philly isn't designed to hold a lead. So I can give you that generic statement because that's about all I can. You can't anticipate how these guys are going to react to all these situations, what's going to happen. And every time we watch these games, it never just comes down to it's another game. They're playing their game and matchups become this. It's always, holy shit, how did that play happen? It was a blown coverage, or there was a this or that. There's always something with this game that makes it a little bit chaotic because everything is on the line. It is the last game. There is nothing else. You have to lay it all out there, and mistakes can be made when nerves and everything are on the line. So this game has the potential. It could be all over the place, Moose. It could be wild. It could be wild west. It could be conservative. It could be boring to the last quarter, and then all of a sudden blow up.
Right.
Which we've seen a lot this year in the NFL.
I think, again, this one is the kicker is on here. Can Kansas City give Mahomes plus 2.5 seconds to throw?
That's going to be the key for most quarterbacks, but yeah.
If they give it, because if he has 2.5 plus seconds to get rid of the ball, then KC's going to win this game. If Philly can put enough pressure on it and he's got under 2.5 seconds, I think Philly can pull the upset. Well, I think they're favorite, though, but I think they can.
Yeah, they can win. I think it's like within a point and a half. It's really close.
I think it's 1.5 points is the spread.
Yeah, so we'll have to get that up here in a minute as we make our official picks here.
1 point.
Yeah, is it 1 point? That's what I thought. So yeah, to me, it's to your point, Moose. It's going to be about ball control and handling the situation. I think. Philly is, if you can, you always need to have that 2 seconds. To me, though, if he gets 2 to 3 seconds, but you're still forcing him to throw out of bounds, you're still forcing him into third and long situations, I think that is what Philly needs to do. That's all they need to do. You're not going to necessarily – their offense is moving well enough. They can control the ball well enough. I would expect Philly to dominate time of possession if they want to win this. And I think they can do that and not necessarily put so much pressure on Mahomes. You could put it in a situation where, you know, I'm going to force you to, you know, beat me downfield or force you to throw in situations, you know. I just need you to get them to 3rd and long.
Yes.
That's all Philly needs to do, in my opinion, and then hold the ball. So, I mean, part of it is to your point, but part of it I just think is a little bit of a different strategy there. You know, just dominate the ball. So it's all now. If KC can get out there and get them in those same kind of situations, I think that's it. It all hinges on 3rd down. Because if it's 3rd and short, Philly's getting it regardless, because they'll go for it on 4th down.
Right, because they're going to get it with it. If it's like 3rd and 2, you know they're going for it on 4th down.
Right.
Unless they're on their own 10. But yeah, I mean, if they're in KC territory, they're going for it, and they're going to get it because Barkley's going to get a minimum of a yard, and you know the tush push will get them the 1st down. So that's the kicker is with that. On there. I think matchup-wise, yeah, this is one of those closest matchup-wise if you look by the personnel-wise on there. Yeah, I mean, obviously the best player out there they got listed as this is the Super Bowl ranking on there, and it's just both teams. Mahomes is the best player at number 1, Barkley at 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris Jones at 3. Then you got Jalen Carter for Philly at 4. Lane Johnson for Philly at 5. Creed Humphrey, the center, at 6 for Kansas City. I mean, this is going to be back and forth on it. I mean, I don't see both. I mean, both teams have the, you know, like Philly's. I mean, obviously Kansas City's got Mahomes, so they got the edge and quarterback. But then you look at Philly, Saquon Barkley is way better than, you know, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco.
Absolutely.
I'd almost say Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are better than any of the receivers for Kansas City. Tight end wise, I think Kelsey has a slight edge over Goddard, but it's just a slight edge. Offensive lines are very even.
Right.
Defensive lines are very even. Linebackers are very even. Secondary is very even. This is a back-to-back game.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be back and forth. It's hard to call, Moose, but it is the moment of truth. It is our official Super Bowl picks, Moose, after all this analysis and breakdown of what we think of what's going on. It is a 1-point game, or 1-point spread. KC's the underdog, right?
Yes.
All right, Moose. I want to say that Philly has got everything going for them. They have got the fact that their offense is finally clicking. They're dominating teams, playoff teams, really good teams.
No, yeah, KC's the favorite. So yeah.
Oh, KC's the favorite?
KC's the favorite.
Okay. That makes more sense to me. I want to say that Philly has more talent on the field when you start breaking it down, just like you kind of were there, even though it's kind of back and forth. I want to say that with a dynamic player like Saquon Barkley and how the running game has been on a resurgent as of late over the last however many years, I want to say Philly's got everything in place to finally bump off the KC. I mean, nobody's ever had a three-peat in the NFL for a reason. And so I want to say all of that is why I'm going to pick Philly, but it's just not. I can't do it. Mahomes has earned the Brady treatment. Until he proves that I can't rely on him to win, I got to go with KC. I got to go with Mahomes. I got to go with Andy Reid. As much as it pains me to say it again, I just don't. It is what it is. It is what it is. I just can't. We've been doing this all year, Moose. Oh, they're going to lose. Oh, they barely won. Oh, they should have lost. Oh, this is crap. They don't have this. They don't have that. And they just win. There's only one game that they lost that they tried to win. That other loss, they had nobody on the field.
Yeah, the Denver loss really doesn't count because they didn't have anybody out there on it.
So what do you mean? I can't bet against them. I'm taking the Patriots. 27-24. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Chiefs. Yeah, the new Patriots. 27-24.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Philly. Even
take
though I got again, ESPN's got they got it ready. 41 NFL writers got the Chiefs to win. 26 pick Philly to win. I think Philly wins this one. I'm gonna go 27-24 Philadelphia, and Saquon Barkley's your MVP.
Hey, not bad. I mean, we got the same score, opposite teams. I think Mahomes will be the MVP, obviously, in that situation. But, hey, man, there it is. I can't blame you. I want to make that pick, Moose. I really do. I really, really want to make that pick that you made. I really want to say it's going to be Philly. I want to be like, yeah, I told you so, woohoo.
I just think Saquon is the that was the one that tipped me over. If they didn't have Saquon, if it was Gainwell healthy in there and Saquon wasn't on
without Saquon.
No, they wouldn't be here.
They wouldn't be here without
Saquon. They'd be Washington.
They wouldn't have put a 50 burger up in the playoffs without him. They wouldn't have been anywhere near this situation without him. So absolutely, I get why you would go there with us.
I think just Saquon in there is going to be is your MVP, and I think Philly pulls the upset. I think it's going to be a good game, and it's going to be enjoyable, and we'll see what happens on there. I think the ratings are going to be probably a little bit down from what it was.
I think they will,
because people are a little fatigued. Now, if it was Buffalo, Detroit, it'd be like the highest rating of all time, because that's what everybody in the whole planet wanted, except for Kansas City and Philadelphia fans. So
I am going to make a proclamation to the fan base, and I'd love as many people to do this same thing as humanly possible. We go to our sports and our entertainment to get away from the things that ail us in our regular lives. We are bombarded with so much, news, negative, positive, whatever, but there's so much stuff going on in the world right now, and especially in this country. And all we want to do is enjoy our lives and the things that we like, whether it's our family or our jobs or our hobbies or our pets or whatever it is we're into. And in our case, and in a lot of your case, it's sports. It's about getting away. It's about having a moment to reminisce of things you wish you could have done, did, or were on the cusp of doing, or tried to do, or wish you would have, things you just like, man, that you're just in awe of, and a place where you can go and get away and enjoy. So do this while you're watching this game. All these big wig corporations that are putting out and spending billions of dollars and are screwing you over every day, when their commercials come on the TV, turn it off.
Yep. Just
turn it off for a second. Wait 30 seconds, 35 seconds, turn the TV back on. When a politician shows his face on your game, don't boo, don't yell, don't get upset. Turn off the television. Give it 60 seconds. Give it 2 minutes. You are not going to miss anything. Then turn the game back on. Send a message that you resist the bullshit and that you will not allow it to get intersected into the things that you care about. You're not going to let it affect the one place you have to go to get away from the bullshit. Don't send a message. Don't let it happen. We talk about it all the time, about sending a message. Don't pay for games that have been free. Don't spend your money on, these overseas. Don't watch these overseas games and do these things that just make a stand when it comes to certain things. You're the consumer. They are they need to kind of kowtow to you, to us. So send your message through shutting the television off. And just do it for a few minutes. Turn it back on. Anytime you see something being pushed and promoted and propagandized that is damaging to you and your family, or to this country, or to free speech, or to anything like that, it's up to you. It's up to all of us to make a stand and make a statement. And that is a real small statement, and it's something easy we can all do and maybe feel a little bit better inside instead of just screaming at the television because you don't want that shit on there. It's the same thing with Taylor Swift. It's the same thing with anything. Just treat it that way. Take its energy away. So that's going to be my soapbox moment. I don't have a lot of them. They're usually more about being nice to each other and acting right. But in this particular case, send a message. I'm going to. If there's a Chick-fil-A commercial, I'm turning the TV off.
Yeah.
If there's a Target commercial, I'm turning the TV off. If there's an Amazon commercial, I'm turning the TV off. If there's a politician on the TV, I'm turning it off. I'll turn it back on when I know all that stuff is in the clear and is gone. But that'll when they get the ratings, when they get the analytics from the show, that'll all be very clear, the statement you were making.
Right.
And so, let me make this very clear. They watch, they know, and it bothers them. So make sure you take care of it and do it. Next week on the show, guys, and checking us out, man. We got the Detroit Sports Radio Rebelz page on social media. We're breaking away from Studio 57 Radio. Not really. We're just trying to have our own entity. So if you want to get away from the news and all that other stuff and just stay on sports, you can stay just on sports, and it'll be all good for you. And you won't have that cross-section, that intersection that we talked about. So we're going to give you that space. And so make sure you follow, you like, you subscribe, you tell your friends what's going on. There'll be a corresponding YouTube channel that'll go. So all all our stuff from the Studio 57 Radio will move over to the DSR2. The Studio 57 Radio will still be there. There'll be a bunch of other content that's going to be there, and the DSR2 content will still end up there. But we wanted to give you a safe landing spot where you didn't have to deal with all the other nonsense, where you can stay away from all the other stuff that gets shared and moved around on social media and disseminated for people's informational sake. You can stay strictly to sports by following DSR2, and DSR2 is everywhere, and we're on Spotify now, Moose, and we're just big time in it. So you can catch us everywhere you get your podcast, so there's no excuse not to download us. Check us out. We're going to be here each and every Wednesday all the way up and through the summer. And Moose, next week we'll be here talking Super Bowl.
That's right.
Either we have the greatest dynasty of all time and the first three-peat in the history of the NFL, or we have Philly wins and throw rocks at Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. Yeah, it's going to sound like the boos will be deafening. No. But yeah, no, the Super Bowl that nobody wants to see, but enjoy it. Enjoy your family, your friends, the food, the munchies, all the great recipes and all that stuff that go along with it, man. It's kind of like how everybody was stressed out about the holidays. Just enjoy the good things about it. Ignore the bad. Block them out. Weed them out. And live through positivity. And it is going to get crazy here, guys. So we expect to hear from you. I'll hang out. We'll get your mind off the world, and we'll have a good time, man. And I'll tell you, when you have fun and you have a release and you can laugh and you can do stuff, it just for a little bit each day or each week, it will translate into your day. And gosh, it might even be contagious to somebody else. So just remember, if you can't be good, at least be good to each other. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.